Kerry Rouse. We're about to build an AI-driven customer service thing, so that's why I'm here tonight.
I'm Jordan, and I'm in sales.
I'm Jake. I'm a videographer and also in sales.
I'm Jack. I just moved down from Montana after I got a master's in business analytics, so hoping to start breaking into Austin's tech scene here.
I'm Rodney. I started a digital marketing agency and we recently started leveraging AI as part of our service to help small to mid-sized businesses.
Hi, I'm Charlie Dominguez. I have a small startup called Checkmate. It's a user-to-user post-connection rating app. Think of Checkmate as an Amazon rating but for people.
I'm Victor. I work for Disrupt, a digital solutions firm, and we work with companies for business process, marketing, and automation.
I'm finance business.
Joel. I'm Joel, and I do system architecture for the Army.
Good to see y'all. My name is Dima. I'm a software engineer and Solopreneurs.
I'm Lauren. I'm a marketing campaign manager and content writer, and I work with a lot of people in like the AI space, mostly B2B marketing.
Hey, I'm Eric. I'm higherlevels.com. We're an online academy for tech sales professionals.
Hi guys, I'm Martin. I work in simulation technology. I use movie marketing. I'm here to learn more about Gen AI, trading information with people.
Logan Dickinson. I help VCs source new investment opportunities, and I run an early stage VC blog.
Andres Patton, I'm a finance business.
Rachel Ritchie, I have go to market just their first PB exit. I'm looking for my next role.
I'm Kyle. I run a marketing software automation company.
Veron, and I'm a photographer and I guess a creative director, helping small businesses with their content on social media.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, it's always good because, you know, we can make some connections here, so see introduce yourself. So, yeah, I want to talk about AI and customer service. Obviously, like as I mentioned earlier, I work mostly in e-commerce. I'm kind of biased towards e-commerce, but we'll talk about different verticals with AI and customer service as applicable to so many different things. So within e-commerce, there's so many different things. So you can do chatbots for 24/7 customer support. So if you're like on a Shopify website, you can go there, talk with a chatbot, it can guide you, right? And then over here, it can give you personalized product recommendations, right? So especially nowadays in the age of 24/7 commerce, you know, if you really just want to go and capture your customers, you can use AI chatbots to really maximize sales and you know, help your customers give the or get the best product recommendations. And of course, automated order and tracking updates. So using like that same chatbot to give you automated order updates. And for example, also like on Amazon, right? So Amazon has AI-powered customer service now. And there's many Shopify e-com websites that use AI chatbots. And so I'm curious from your guys' perspective, where have you used or seen AI in e-commerce? Anyone?
Yeah, chatbots, I mean, recommendations, like you said.
Okay.
Those are big ones.
There's certain e-com brands that you've seen where that you shop on certain websites, Amazon, other websites.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're actually using it right now to do some content generation, product descriptions and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, product descriptions, I think that's a good one for sure. Anybody else?
Inbound calls.
Where?
Inbound calls.
Okay.
Like support, putting all the data systems on, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I get a lot of emails and LinkedIn. It's AI generated.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so in e-commerce, obviously lots of different examples, and especially in the past, you could lose customers if somebody goes to your website, and if they're not sure about your products, it's expensive to have reps 24/7, especially if you're a small e-com brand. So now you can have a chatbot on your website. Like, it's not expensive. Many of them are under $30, under $100, and that's way cheaper than hiring a 24/7 customer support rep. So there's lots of benefits with AI chat and e-commerce. So also like in banking, right? So you can have fraud detection and prevention, automated customer support for banking queries, personalized financial advice. And for example, Bank of America has their Erica chatbot. So I'm curious for you guys as well. So in banking, have you guys seen or used AI customer service in banking? Where have you seen that?
I work in financial entity and we use AI for fraud detection.
Okay. How does it work exactly?
It's independent service that I can't tell you in details how it works under it, but it just depends on the processing the transactions and if fraud occurs, it just prevents it.
So you can tell if like somebody's shopping somewhere else, they'll like use AI to like notify the customer saying, hey.
Yeah, there are certain criteria for transactions for ICDC, for card present, non-present.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Have you guys use AI in banking, customer service? Yeah, I mean,
there's FFIEC guidelines and regulations about anti-fraud and like and all AML and all that stuff. So AI is fairly new. How does one prove that credibility, like that efficacy for that? I don't know. I'm not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of customer service for sure. I mean, oftentimes, you know, there's AI involved when you make a phone call, right? When you call a bank, you have questions. And now they can even recognize you by your voice, by your phone number. They can go right in and say, hey, listen, here's your account information. So there's a lot of AI like in machine learning there as well. But also, yeah, like in a live chat, right? It can help guide you with fraud issues, as Dima.
And pen testing is one of the things that they have to do. And there's AI supported pen testing now.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's I think in banking for sure, it's one industry where, as you said, there's so many regulations, so it's not as simple as e-commerce. The bank has to be kind of more sensitive, especially when you're talking about open source, large language models, right? That you want to make sure that they're super careful about what data is being shared. In e-commerce, it's not like, it's more product information, but yeah, banking is definitely a much more sensitive, highly regulated industry. Awesome. So, AI use cases in healthcare, right? So, in healthcare, you have virtual health assistants for patient queries, automated appointment scheduling and reminders, predictive analytics for patient care, and for example, they have on health AI doctors. So, I mean, obviously, you know, we're not quite there yet, but it could happen soon. You might have AI doctors helping you, right, within customer service. So, I don't know if any of you are in healthcare or seeing something in healthcare that are involving AI in customer service.
So I was just listening to a startup out of San Francisco that is using AI to engage Medicare patients specifically for one, to give them a little bit of company, but also just that bedside manner to get all the information that they have to be able to get their Medicare benefits.
Right, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Yeah, I've seen AI like therapists or like even like not full on therapy, but even like guidance and stuff like that to help people feel better. I don't know if anybody else, have you guys seen any AI examples in your healthcare? Or heard anything else in the news or if you're not in the healthcare space?
I think WebMD has a service where you can type in your symptoms and locate it on a body, and it will narrow down what you might have.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's super helpful. I mean, AI in healthcare is kind of similar to AI in banking, right? It's also highly regulated. You have HIPAA compliance. There are certain things that you want to be more careful about. And data is super sensitive. So obviously they can't share specific patient data in terms of your information, but they can give kind of more vague, you know, if you have symptoms, help you out, things like that. Or even potentially for booking appointments, right? If you have challenges, especially in healthcare in the hospital, it can be challenging sometimes navigating through that, as many hospital systems are super big, right? Just navigating through that and booking appointments. So AI use cases also in telecom, so network issue resolution through AI, personalized customer support, predictive maintenance. So with Verizon, they also have AI customer support, which obviously they do it through phone calls and also through a chat. So I don't know if you guys have seen that with Verizon or with their cell phone provider, any AI support or AI customer service within telecom.
Yeah, it's freaking annoying.
Yeah. It can be annoying, yeah. I mean, I think that there's still like a long way to go, right? Because a lot of it is not super high level as it can be, but I think it's definitely improving time over time. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, with the benefit of AI and customer service, keep in mind, right, 24/7 support, which you're going to have issues, you're going to have questions at 3 in the morning, and oftentimes if like a business like is closed, right, they can lose a customer, you might not be able to get what you need, but this way, with high level AI, you can get your answers at 3 in the morning. Awesome. So AI in hospitality, right? So personalized guest experiences and recommendations, automated booking and reservation management, virtual concierge. Like Hilton has a robot concierge that guides people. You know, there's lots of use cases, like especially in hospitality. I mean, if you're in a hotel and if you have a question, if you want some service, you know, it's definitely much easier sometimes than calling like the front desk, because at many hotels, those folks get super busy, right? They're dealing with people in front of them, they're trying to answer phone calls, and it can be hard, but the AI can get things answered in real time. So I'm curious, has like anybody seen AI in their traveling and hospitality experiences?
Yeah, I mean, hotels, a lot of restaurants, they already use robots to go around.
Yeah.
In some sushi restaurant in Austin, when you go there, they deliver your sushi dish to your table with robot. They navigate.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and I think also it can be more efficient, and especially in hospitality, one thing I've seen is that it can be hard to staff, right? Many of these restaurants have trouble finding people, especially since COVID, lots of turnover. So robots can help with that because they'll be working for you permanently. And on top of that, it'll be cheaper for consumers because they don't have to leave any tips because it's just a robot. So from that standpoint, you might be able to get cheaper meals at a restaurant if the robot is delivering. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely lots of use cases there with AI and robots taking orders. Like I've seen drive-thrus and coffee places, Wendy's, drive-thrus that have an AI robot, right? And the people are just working in the back making the food. So it's like I said, like it's been a big challenge I've seen since COVID of many restaurants and bars with staffing. So if you can have a robot step in and help assist, it could be easier for companies. It may even bring costs down. So awesome. So AI in travel and tourism, right? So they can help with planning your travel, right? Automated customer support for travel queries, real-time updates and notifications, and then, for example, KLM's AI-based customer service. So I'm curious about your experience, and I can share mine as well, where I used to be consulting. I was traveling all the time using American Airlines, and I had issues with, you know, flights got delayed, things like that, and they actually had a pretty good AI tool where I would just chat with them, get things taken care of. Like Dennis mentioned, some of it was also still same with telecom. It's an airline that's not exactly where you want it to be. It can be very annoying. It can be, you know, just to get through. Like many people, I think, oftentimes just default automatically to wanting to speak to a live person because it hasn't been as good as we would like it to be. But the goal of it, obviously, is to make it more streamlined, to make it easier that when something gets canceled, getting it rebooked for what you want. So yeah, like have you guys seen it when you're traveling with airlines, any AI that you use or seen?
Delta's is pretty good.
Delta's? Okay. That's good to hear. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think some airlines are obviously more advanced with their tech. I mean, Delta, American Airlines, some of the larger players, but some of them, yeah, obviously are not quite where they could be. But yeah, I mean, the goal is, I mean, I don't know if we'll see any AI flight attendants, right? It's possible. There's a lot of different use cases when it comes to serving customers across this vertical. So AI in professional services, right? So you can have for legal services, so AI for contract analysis, right, and legal review, AI for data analysis, client support, marketing, for AI campaign management, of course. LawGeeks has an AI contract review system, so it allows people that when they're engaging and trying to get legal services to use AI to review contracts, make it much easier. You can talk to a chatbot, and the chatbot can go and review the contract, give you feedback in real time. So like, have you guys seen AI use cases in any legal and professional services? Yeah.
Well, I would just talk to my custom GPT legal person and ask them. But I also have a background in law, so.
Right.
But you can use them.
Right.
And well, when I was presented with a contract, something, and not something that I was doing the work, it was like for me specifically, and I didn't know all the implications that I asked them the question.
Yeah, I'll say ChatGPT definitely reduced my legal fees. I think you do a ton of the pre-work, organize all this and put it in a form that's easy for the lawyers. Also contract review, highlight non-standard terms, and you know, just these things you do all the time. It's just tirelessly does it.
Do you feel like you still have to hire attorneys after using GPT, or?
I think I'm much more informed when I talk to the attorneys.
Okay.
And much better organized. You end up less of like, oh, people look into that and let's have another meeting. It's like, oh, here's all the facts. I have all the answers to the questions you're gonna ask me.
Right. I think also for summarizing legal documents, because I've seen some documents that are very long, very extensive, and 30, 40 pages, which maybe an attorney might read it, but I think the average person not going to sit and read 40 pages, so it helps with that as well.
I created a foreseeability document, a legal brief.
Okay.
That we put together and market it, and then when we go talk to the attorneys that we're marketing to, we say, and make sure you check with your attorney on the details, but at least you go in there with some case studies and case law, and it helps you in your negotiations what the price it costs for them to create it and actually say the true blue legal brief.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's good to have some knowledge. Obviously, it's good that it's there, but it's good to have some background out to understand like kind of what you're looking for. And I think the challenge sometimes with LLMs is they do make mistakes, so it's good sometimes to get it double checked because LLMs are not perfect. GPT, they do have a disclaimer at the bottom saying they make mistakes, so it's good to keep that in mind. So yeah, AI use case in IT services, right? So we're kind of in the tech space. We don't do much IT services, but it's something that's interesting for me as well. So you're going to have automated technical support and troubleshooting, predictive maintenance, personalized IT solutions for clients, like IBM's Watson for IT support. So instead of having to reach out, right, to an IT support, you can have an AI IT support. So have you guys seen any AI when you're troubleshooting with your computer or any technical issue that you're facing at work or at home?
Yeah.
What have you used?
When I can tell because like I had a contact GoDaddy and their chat comes on, or the IRS, or
right. Is GoDaddy's chat pretty good? Would you say?
No.
Yeah. Well, the goal is to make
I
it.
have high standards.
Yeah,
I have a lot of experience with it,
right.
so.
The goal is to make it, that way like a robot can help guide you with your IT support, right? I mean, if you have an issue with GoDaddy with your hosting or with your computer, where you can call the robot, message the robot, and they can give you an answer in real time. So really, there's lots of benefits. Like I mentioned earlier, right? AI and customer service. 24/7 availability, right? Which many humans, I mean, all humans need sleep, so yes, you can have people at different times around the clock, but it can be much more expensive. Faster response times, because humans are human, right? Enhanced customer satisfaction. And cost savings for businesses, like especially somebody mentioned earlier about small businesses, right? Like if you're a small business, it can be very expensive to hire an employee, right? I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say my experience last Black Friday when I shop on Amazon. I complained to Amazon a lot when I buy product and sometimes I return the product. I realized in Black Friday it was so busy. They use AI to answer customers and they also give them refund using AI.
Okay.
So I literally asked the AI to give me $100. because normally I have to chat with the customer service and I have to fact check it and they return, but if it was too busy during Black Friday, I asked the AI give me $100. But I had to try it in the correct scenarios. So AI fact check. Yeah, I give you $100.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's not always perfect. I mean, AI overall is pretty good, but yeah, I mean, the goal is to save your company money, right? Especially, as I mentioned earlier, like I work a lot in e-commerce, so many small e-commerce brands, especially if you're a founder, right, of a small brand, you can't always be responding to every single email, every single chat, because, you know, you're a human, you have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to do other things, right? So it helps with those things and helps save you money and give real-time responses. But as I mentioned earlier, right, there's some challenges, data privacy and security, right? So especially industries like in healthcare and banking, it's very sensitive, lots of regulation, right? Challenges in time with integration, obviously, there's companies that help out with that, but many legacy systems that are older might not be up to date to integrate with a high-level AI customer service tool, right? And ensuring human-like interactions. So can it really be human? Sharon mentioned her experience with GoDaddy. It wasn't so good, but the goal is to make it feel human. Many of them don't feel human and aren't giving you the real response that you're looking for. And there's always updates, right? Continuous improvement. It's not going to be good overnight, but over time, you know, it's still learning, it's still trying to be human, and there's so many challenges sometimes when you're calling, and you do want to speak to an actual human because it's not trained well enough, it's not good enough, and you're getting frustrated. Please give me a human. And so, you know, future trends. So obviously, AI is going to continue to be more proactive for customer service, right? There's going to be more sophisticated natural language processing, be more personalized, and of course, integration with emerging technologies, right? So IoT, AR, VR, I mean, right? We're seeing here in downtown Austin, self-driving AI autonomous vehicles. So, I mean, those cars, I'm sure somebody mentioned to me earlier, right, that one car was spinning around, person was trying to get to the airport, they was in the area. So obviously those cars are still not where they could be, but it's happening, right? It's over time, more and more things may be done with AI as opposed to humans. I mean, obviously this stat is coming from Waymo, so it's a bit biased, but they're saying that it reduces human error by 80%. I could see that, right, because many humans are very distracted. You're texting, you're talking, you're looking at it the other way, right? But this is using AI, there's cameras everywhere, and the goal is to make it much more high level. So that's me. This is my presentation. So yeah, if you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can go ahead and scan my QR code. But that's all I have, and thank you, everybody.
Question, you know, I think the AI total addressable market is supposed to increase like 900% to 1.1 trillion by 2030. And I kind of don't see it, right? Because it's already, you know, permeating all of our business and personal activities. So I'd love to hear your perspective on the future growth of AI and what you see.
Yeah, there's still lots of room, like I mentioned, in certain industries. Like you mentioned the example of in the restaurant, right, in the sushi restaurant. There's still, most restaurants today have humans. You know, most Ubers are driven by humans.
Yeah, they don't take credit card payments at the table, right?
Right. So it's like there's still lots of, you know, gaps there, and I think, you know, it just really depends. It's like, you know, some jobs for sure might be taken away. There's also going to be new jobs created because you still need humans to monitor the AI, to make sure it's working perfectly, right? But I still think that there's still, you know, a huge gap in terms of, you know, certain jobs like in hospitality and, like I mentioned earlier, customer service jobs, where you do have even Amazon chat, right? Like most of the time, like it is a lot of humans, right? Even though they might be using labor overseas, it's still people, right? So it's going to be interesting, but I still think that there's many companies are not using AI to its full potential. So.
Gotcha. So there's still a lot of room for.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
What criteria do you use to measure whether to use the chatbot for your customer service as opposed to already using a human? What are you measuring to see the benefit?
Yeah, I think part of it has to do with just your budget, right? Like how big is your business? How much can you afford to spend? Because if you can spend several thousands a month or even several hundreds, and it depends if you're hiring people in the US or not, I mean, chatbots can be under, $50, right? So it really just depends. Also, it depends, I think, on your kind of business. Like I mentioned earlier, like, so e-commerce, it's a very natural fit. If you have a more high-level service, like we're a service provider, we don't use anything, we have one, but it's not something that we really want to recommend. Like, I actually go and talk to, like, a live person. It really just depends. I mean, and then I think AI can kind of interact with humans in a way where it's like, the AI can be like the screening. Like if you're selling cars, right, it's like a premium item, but you might want to screen the person, like saying, hey, is this person qualified? Do they have the budget for this vehicle? And then they can hop on a call with like an actual sales rep, right? Like AI is probably not going to sell them the car, but it can help screen him, like which car do you want? What's your budget? Do you want to do financing, with all these questions. And then once the actual sales rep is ready, then they can go and call them and chat with them. So I think the best examples now can be like a combination of both. But yeah, I mean, I think in restaurants too, if you want to place a quick order, AI can be good for that. So it just depends on what you're selling and what kind of business.
So you guys do performance marketing, right, for your clients?
Yeah.
How do you use AI to support your performance marketing efforts for your campaigns?
For sure. So I personally am not running an ad to help a media buyer, but they use AI to like edit the creatives, and Meta right now, their AI and their data is really good. So when you're running ads on Instagram and Facebook, their data is very high level. We can use the AI, can tell you people's interests. Right, so you kind of like use it, like when you're running Instagram ads, you can see, okay, like I'm marketing this supplement for a bodybuilder, and here are all these people who are interested in bodybuilding, they live here, they're like typically people who buy things from ads, right? So you have different consumers, and there are certain consumers that will always scroll through and never buy, and that's not people that you want to target, right? So AI will kind of like capture that data based on buying habits. So Meta's data is actually really good. I mean, obviously, more and more people are using TikTok, and it's a great platform for ads, but I mean, most people in the world, and most Americans that have any social media platform are on Instagram and Facebook. So it's still number one in terms of ads.
Second question, if you use, maybe two-part question, so if you use ChatGPT for anything, like one of the things that has worked really well for us is we take like a template of our best performing testimonial, and then we have like hundreds of them, so when we get a new one, we provide characteristics of that person and just say make it for all of this information. Right. Is there anything you built with like ChatGPT, something like that you recommend or use yourself?
Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is good for ideation, so certain strategies, for campaigns, like we don't use it to like do all the ads for us, but it's more of like for ideation, right? So if you have, Valentine's Day is coming up, so certain, campaign ideas for Valentine's Day for this product. If we have one client that sells grass-fed beef, so maybe, buy it for your wife or husband or whatever, like a beef box, whatever special, right? Or ideas for coupon codes. And listen, if you enter this code, I don't know, Valentine's beef or something, it's like there's different ideas that I think sometimes get overlooked. But yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is like we use like a lot for ideation. So.
Yeah, and then are there any kind of like end user SaaS products that you use that you feel incorporate AI well? And just as a reference point, like we use Intercom on our website, and they've touted that they have like fully AI responses, and it's kind of hit or miss. We haven't really greenlit it yet. So is there anything you use that's like a consumer tool for AI?
We haven't really used too many. We built our own chatbots, we use that sometimes, like it's not, you know, something that we spend too much time on. But it's an okay product. I mean, there's definitely lots of products. I think the biggest challenge I've seen with AI customer service chat is the hallucination, right? Where sometimes if you're asking a certain question, it goes to kind of hallucinate, and it's like, oh, like it's rambling about different things that are out of the scope. And really it's important to make sure that whatever model you're using is staying within that scope, right? So it's like not going to go and talk about random things, right? It's going to stay on track and say, hey, listen, like, if you ask a question that's not relevant, it'll say, hey, listen, like, I don't know the answer, shoot me an email, as opposed to giving like the wrong answer, right? So I think that's super important with AI is like you want to make sure that your chatbots are doing something like that as opposed to like coming up with something that has to come up with something, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So in your experience as a CEO, what kind of, or how, what like specific projects have you noticed that AI does a better job than like human performance in? And then on the flip side of that, have there been certain projects or like results that come about that you've noticed that like human interaction performs better than AI?
I mean, I think AI, the way that we use it today mostly is still as like a tool. Like, I don't know if it does better. Like, for example, we have developers who are writing code. Like, they use it to kind of help them, but it's not going to do all the code for them. You have to know how to code. You have to be super technical. Like, yeah, I can build you something basic, but it's not scalable, right? So, and on top of that, when you're coding in GPT, it's important to make sure that it's not proprietary code, right? Because some companies, we have NDAs with, we can't go code in GPT because they don't want that out like in the open source, right? So, I mean, our devs have saved tons of time in ChatGPT, same with like our marketers with like different ideas or content writing or copy, like just ideation, things like that. But it's not something where we feel like, at least I've seen for what we use it for, is like better than, like we don't have like an AI employee, right? Like we have employees who use AI, but it's good to kind of have a combination of both. It just kind of makes your time more efficient at this point, so. Anybody have any more questions?
I don't know if this is the right question, man, but like, you know, my son's a aspiring programmer.
Sure, yeah.
So what's your advice to, you know, young tech professionals, young programmers, like just kind of getting into it? And you know, it seems like some of the gigs at the lower end are going to dry up a little bit. Like, what would you, like, if you had to go back in time, starting your career,
right,
what would you do now?
So I'm not a developer, you know, I'm more from the business side, but what I've seen, I think many devs, and Dean was a dev, so you can speak on this as well, but like, many devs are often building like their own projects, right? And that's a way to kind of get yourself like out there in the market. So if you build like your own SaaS tool, it's a good way to kind of, you know, showcase that like as a project. Hey, listen, I built this SaaS tool, I built this chatbot or this vertical SaaS tool. And a lot of tech or SaaS, it's just solving problems, right? So if you see a problem out there in the market, saying, hey, like, listen, let me build this tool, even if it's like a consumer app or a consumer tool, right? It makes your life easier. You can build that, and it's possible you can scale it, you know, and sell that product, right? Especially on TikTok or other social media platforms. But worst case scenario, that can be part of your portfolio. Start building your portfolio, showing that to companies. And they'll think, I built this tool, I use this language, here's what it does. Even if you have no users, like it's pretty impressive that you built this tool. It's a good way to kind of get things going.
Yeah, that's good advice.
So I do think like programming technical knowledge is actually increasing in value because like a lot of these tools, they'll do 10x the work, but they'll get something slightly wrong. And if you don't have a big picture of like how the whole system works and what's really going on, you'll just be lost. So you need to like nudge it back in. So I think, I mean, staying on technology is always riding a wave. And so I think just keeping up with using all of these tools is what I advise people to do. And you really need to understand what's going on underneath also.
Yeah, 100% agree. Awesome. Well, that's all I have, so thank you, everybody.
Let's take a photo. So I'm gonna get up and do a Yay. Okay, awesome, awesome, all right, I'm just gonna take one. Don't get up, I'm
Drinks
taking
are on
one,
the
not
table.
selfie, just a group. Wave. Oh, wave, you're so happy. Okay, thank you.
I would pay $59.99.
Yeah. How's that going for you? That's fun. It's a hobby for the mentors. We kind of hang out, and it's nice that you don't really get anxious. You just kind of show up and talk about stuff, and then it's just like, homework.
Yeah, that's true. I'd love to meet some
Sure. Yeah, we can just, I have all the time.
I'm here periodically, not often, but enough to like.
Yeah, and also I'm down at like Mozart's twice a week, so I do a lot of on the web. Yeah, basically coffee. And yeah, so some things structure. There's a lot of people I meet at like events like this, and it's just like, yeah, we can chat. Technology and business.
Yeah, I'm John, by the way.
John?
Thanks so much.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Erica? Is there another Erica? So you're still in marketing? Yes. So he's in denial?
I'm in denial.
He's definitely in denial, because he's definitely in marketing, just not the same.
And I'm just doing
A different kind of it? Okay. What kind do you do?
Digital marketing.
Okay.
So social media,
She has to reach the first
SEO. I'm definitely there, I'm just, trying to push
Now remember, when you're taking pictures of older people, you gotta go up. You gotta go up. You gotta go up. No, not down. Up, up. Okay, there you go. Remember that. When you're older people, up.
I would assume that it's like, I would tell
Right, you're not gonna write.
No.
Here in the chat.
I mean, maybe go get chat on the computer, write his own code, make the thing, but. It's like all over everywhere.
I did it for 3 years.
Because it's such a,
Yeah, it's like an automatic. I do that too, or like I'm.
then I know, I ask questions, or sometimes I want to. Just like I knew I left my phone. Okay, good. I don't need to. Yeah. Well, I don't do it.
I know where stuff is when I don't. If I put something away, we have a problem, but if I know where it is, like it just is there, because I have a chopstick under my bed, right? So I know where that is. It's nice to meet you. Oh, yes. I did get your email.
Good meetups and free training.
Oh, what, like, girlfriend or my Sherman Rachel, nice to meet you. I'm gonna reach out to you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, it was a great conversation.
That was fine. I'll do that.
Feel better. Yeah, it's good when you can talk to people where all this stuff's out there. Especially now. I literally can't pull up and it's on mid, and then I'll turn on YouTube. Oh, I know. And then I'm also like, I want to run everything.
But you have to sleep too in order for it to.
No, I just, that's it. I'll just save it for later, and then when I think about it.
Tell me what's going on.
But what was the point of the social media overload? And now I'm looking at LinkedIn because it's on my phone. I need to do that because business people are reaching out to me. Business people are, before I never had it on my phone, so I was just, and then Instagram too. I always make sure that I have myself.
Tomorrow, yeah, could you get like the virtual going around?
Yeah, yeah. Really start. Actual business.
Are you using AI?
Am I supposed to use it?
Or do you use it?
No, I know some people who use it for speaking, like recording.
Yeah.
I do use it for my own stuff, like I use it for generating ideas for work and all of that.
Yeah, well, you guys should do like where it's like, I was just gonna say, if you have like a conversation session, if you have a couple other options.
No, because it's confidential.
I personally don't believe in that, but some
Right,
people
just like, you know, okay.
But if the claim is that, I don't know, people have to say, I think that was like,
So you're saying maybe a sufficient.
I take memories and like a lot of times my friends have to have like 5 sessions for that, I kind of do stuff, so I don't use it. And then I put it, and then I type it up in our system.
Hi, he's Mr. Brilliant. What was the thing you had me do? The last time I saw you, YouTube video? That's the other thing, I'm trying to do videos.
This is a model. This is a model I created. It's actually a game. Game. So I enter in actually
You were like an agency, all this stuff's moving so much.
When I created
I tried to show up.
it's a graphic, you want the graphics underground, very underground.
All my dogs. My nephew's a genius. So the woman's name is
I just found new years. I think you can do it too. It's a
I went to Chelsea once. Oh, really? Yeah. So we used to go to Orange County, like what town?
I live in Tustin, but the first time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I moved here, so I lived in LA for years, but then I'm sick of it because I'm sick of blue sky. I went through the Northridge earthquake, yeah. So,
the fires over there?
yeah, I see all that. I've been through fires in San Diego, though, so I went through the bridge fires. But anyway, so I left LA and back to Boston because I was going to go to law school. I'm not from Boston, but I'm not from Boston. And then I
And so, you know,
couldn't handle
a
the
lot
weather
of what
anymore,
I see
so I
is
decided
internal
to go
workflows.
back to California. But I wasn't sure about LA,
Assess
and
these
my
folks
childhood
for
friend was
what they're
moving
gonna
to
buy.
San Diego,
Do platform stuff.
and I don't like San Diego because I think it's mundane, it's mundane. No, I don't like the culture of San Diego.
Yeah.
It's mundane, okay?
But you like Austin though?
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't know anything about Austin when I got here. It wasn't a choice. I'm happy now for the last 2 years. I mean, I actually did my own.
They went on some healthcare.
I just think you need to know
But it was, yeah, it was cool.
You're in,
And he's really smart.
Another friend of mine started.
So like healthcare?
There's a
Is that
guy.
See, you're cool, so that's why, I mean, you might be something I wanna
You're.
talk to. I'm gonna talk to you now.
I just talked to the lady, she working in
Michelle
therapy.
Gomez, that's very cool, yeah, I think it's Michelle, and she has a, if you're
And
interested.
so it'll comment, and then that'll get you on her
So
radar, and then you
last
can
Christmas,
connect and all this stuff.
participated.
But you can tell.
Zen,
Come on, Eric, you can tell.
So right now it's also like a lot, you can call it like the Zen, it says the venue ever in South Austin. All the coffee shop and tea shop in there is all Zen.
That's cool.
They have very good tea and stuff.
Yeah, Darby Rollins, those.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember the name right now, but I would say it.
Yeah,
I
like,
just assumed that he's always got all
It's
these
very
acts.
close.
Is it like
well, I was telling him, like, I would love for him to see, like.
He doesn't know, he's not a
projects.
tech person.
Right.
This is his deal.
No, it's not, that's it, it's just, actually it's just like,
He's a sales, or he sold like.
it's close to the park.
stuff. And then for whatever reason, he met this Indian guy.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
All his
But
deaf
like,
people are in India.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
this
good at
what is it called, this
business,
park?
you know, but
It's
how
very
can
close
he
to
do
this
something
park.
like AI just because he's got all these events?
It's,
You know, these meta events. No, I'm not saying.
All you need to do is go to your car and come to this.
Right,
you get free drinks.
No, I know, but
I'll stick that.
I've been studying AI since the beginning, and I was like, I studied web development, and I was gonna
It's
get
very close to you.
computer science.
On
I know, I
Oh, yeah,
have
yeah,
worked
yeah.
with AI phone people, you know, AI
It's not
creation
here, but
phones.
it's not up here on the map because they are new and
Experimented,
but
it's
in
so
here.
good, phone lead people, you know,
The
so
fundamental
he
question
was
is,
talking about.
what does the audience want? Cause like, in the
Oh, yeah,
AI,
I'm sorry.
The audience
You
wants
can-
to learn.
you can-
well, I think
There
it,
are
I think
actionable
it,
insights, right?
I think it would be, you know,
Okay.
if you do need to hear your speakers, I would be very
And,
careful.
yeah, I know the host, I know the host.
There's other machine learning groups that want to do
sorry, her name is Fox.
practical data science, where they actually write code. And like that's
She will
really good.
host
And it's like
event
when people
like
show up, they want to write
every 2
code.
months or something.
Yeah.
And like the one I
And
met
they have
yesterday,
to be like,
they
you know.
read research papers.
Yeah,
They are
so,
But here, it'd be like.
No, well,
yes, last time I couldn't
Actually,
participate the
data
full
automation.
section.
That's what we're gonna show.
But I
That's
really
what-
like the venue.
I got Sarah Loretta.
So you have a,
She's, you know, my
introduce yourself, but I
and
forgot.
she's a
I work in simulation.
Well, that's what I was
She
talking
is,
about.
and
You were saying,
they
hey,
change,
but tell me
try to
what do you
combine
do?
those two
That's what you would
technologies.
say.
Yeah, like,
You're fine.
Yeah.
You know, actually, you know,
I started with
Yeah.
because video games are the easiest part of
and that's
simulation.
what Elizabeth did too.
But now I'm
You know,
moving
it's
towards
like, that's what I'm saying, I was just
simulation,
surprised.
visual 3D technologies.
And then we started asking him about tech stuff, he doesn't
Like
have any programming
factory,
experience.
manufacturing.
He doesn't have
Like
any,
chess
I don't want
or-
her to
I
do it. No.
Building factory.
That's why he
It's
built
like
it.
building and testing, you know.
So a lot of our industry.
Yeah, it's a called it is a
But I just
general
want
is
to
a
tell you.
between space they can create
He
between of
will-
anything.
yes, and I was
They can
like,
create
I
Earth
run this thing and it's
simulation and then they use it, they pull the data from the simulation and they can ask it the generative AI to ask for the weather. Can you generate the weather of tomorrow? Yes, they can do it. Because it has its Earth
Yeah.
inside it, so it's very precise.
So,
So
Wow,
maybe
The Chinese watch.
serious, no, not serious.
So some of the things they do broadcast on YouTube.
No, this is live stream.
Oh, okay.
Good, good, good.
No, I know from there.
We're on.
I hope it didn't turn hard.
Hey.
Thank you
Oh,
guys.
have you played this?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you played the notebook out now?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
You need to do that, like, you need to put some stuff in and make a podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
One button, make a podcast, it's amazing, it sounds like an NPR chatting about it.
That's another thing I've learned all about that too. So one of our speakers did, he showed us all that.
Yeah.
He did a podcast on Notebook. Yeah.
So Notebook, it's a writing system. The great thing about it, you can upload PDFs into it, and then you can chat with all the documents you upload, and you can link to YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is it's not hallucinating, because it pulls from that content and then ranks it and answers based on that. So it'll attribute it. And then the really cool thing is that it can make a podcast about all the content you uploaded. So you could like have projects for customers and dump all the background in there. It'd be great for like pre-sales prep and all kinds of stuff.
That's amazing.
Notebook LM.
So that's so much more useful
telling me how to use AI to generate porn before the meeting.
Well, no, there's a. AI influencers, you know, they're creating their
Yeah, well,
own.
your own picture of that
No, somebody was talking about different platforms on how to make money, and you can make a fake person and put them on OnlyFans. I think, I'm all about making money, okay, and not using my persona. So this is it right here.
That was the first thing she told me.
So now we're talking OnlyFans.
Yes, but this is.
No, we'll get that.
Here, no, you don't even need to go to labs.google. That's their thing. I mean.
That's where they'll get
That's where, here, I'm gonna send it to them, I got it right here, here, look. Jen, bring a fantasy to life, this is Gen Influence, and they fake people, fake.
Well, so there's two companies that you can
AI generated
take a picture and make your own character, well.
I don't wanna make my own
No,
character.
but they do a really good job about talking. So the other one. So Gemini experimental's out now too.
Yes.
Which is also really good. And so it's to the point where, so another use case is like doing tutorials. Like you can just take screenshots of your screen.
Right.
And you can say, I'm in Canva, how do I do this?
Right.
And it'll tell you.
Wow.
And so like we're moving towards that. And like, you know, like if they're talking tech support, I mean, you screenshot your screen, you drop it in there.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. So a lot of this is inward, I think, you know, a lot of leverage is inward facing AI.
Yes.
Because it can be brittle. And it can be in this, you know.
Here, I got it right here. I sent it to somebody else, the labs, the link. So I will send this to you, Dennis, and I'll send you a YouTube video on how to use it.
Yeah, what's the video? This is great.
This is great.
Maybe better off a speaker.
So last month I heard from
people that want to speak.
Mark Zuckerberg himself. He's already
Yeah, I mean, you're the kind of
he's already
person.
confirmed that.
Well, no, I
Free speech is a real thing?
No. It's even more scary than that.
That's what people.
It's
then you don't
also
have to
he
edit
admit
other
that
people. I just.
from now,
Most of the people
Meta
I know
will
will show,
use
like,
fake
we're gonna show,
AI
we're gonna look at
account.
this guy that had
Fake
before
AI
showed us
users.
like 5
So like
You
they
should
not
look
even
at
try
that
to
and
hide
log the
anymore.
file system access
They-
are the two things
now it
that
becomes
everyone should be doing right
features.
now.
So I talked to a lot of people in the past
anyways,
that Facebook
this
they
is,
use
I signed up
customer
for all
data
these.
to train the AI even
Oh, good.
but no one believes.
There's so many.
And now Mark Zuckerberg last month this week in his panel in California himself. Facebook officially will
What's your major?
deploy AI
That's all I do is.
I never remember on Twitter,
Okay.
like, used an application to see what was a bot, what was not.
But now it doesn't matter anymore because it's official. If you don't have friends on Facebook, it's okay. We're gonna give you as many friends as you want.
That's amazing. What's your
Him
name?
too.
Martin.
Martin.
Dennis, good to meet you. Excellent.
He gave a talk at the computer science.
What are you doing around town?
I work in simulation
Dating,
technologies.
Oh, wow.
And so he
I used to work in marketing.
He runs a maker, it's called
Right now,
Solopreneurs.
I have most of my experience in entertainment industry creating video game simulations. But I'm heading toward industry direction where I create this situation. I try to learn Gen AI so I combine these new technologies and create this situation.
So I've got
That's my direction.
What's your favorite game?
It's all, it all comes and goes.
So
welcome to the new year. Yeah, well, nice meeting you.
Likewise.
Take care.
Thanks, sir.
Go get her.
Appreciate you.
Have a
Right,
good
we're
year.
gonna get organized here. Do you need
Absolutely.
parking? Do you guys
Hey,
need
save
parking?
some tequila.
What, and what was your son's name again? What's your name? Ethan Heppenhafer. Hiddenhafer. I love that
Excellent.
name,
If you
Eric.
want an IT intern, he's interested.
Well, I can find one for you.
Okay, yes, are you
Just
looking?
She's got a low headhunting
Do
fee.
you connect on LinkedIn?
Yeah, let me do that.
Let's do that, because I know everyone. I'll find you.
Yeah, all the
I'm
LinkedIn
good at that.
connections.
I'm good at that.
What's your company now?
It's a company I work with a freelance team.
Oh, okay.
And I'm under AI training right now. So
Oh, cool.
I probably will hire some AI companies in a couple of months.
Yeah, okay, very cool. Yeah,
much as it's kind of following the same path, although he's not a big
Yes.
fan of AI, we're trying to get.
But Will writes too.
Yeah, it's AI is,
It's more like a C
I
sharp.
thought it was.
AI is actually is unavoidable because, technology, we have improved it so many times. Now it's reached to a point, if you want to improve the user experience, it needs what I call diminishing return. So even if you improve all the technology, the hardware and software only, the user experience is not improved much because we already improved too much. Diminishing return is less like you take the drop too much. At some point, it's not effective anymore. You have to have another approach.
Chickens and
So AI is another approach of software. It's just another type of software. Some people keep complicated, it's going to replace human, this it becomes creatures. No, it's just a different way of approaching software.
I don't see it as enabling and empowering, right? That's ideally what it would be.
Yeah.
What is
So
programs like
because
I would rather.
find that out.
Well, I should.
But yeah, but the thing is, the whole IT industry is created to improve user experience. So if user experience not improve anymore, then there's no point in keep pumping new hardware, new stronger software. There's no point. It's literally.
So I got Mexican and German.
Yeah, it's the thing is the traditional type of software. It cannot match the hardware because hardware is too strong. The traditional software is object-oriented program. That solution is no longer catch up with the hardware. So you need the AI that can solve one problem at the same time to drive that hardware. That hardware is too strong. For example, I tell you, yes, one example. I just checked with NVIDIA. I'm a big fan of NVIDIA. So the new years, I checked with them if they have any cool technologies that improve my eSport. I was mind blowing by it. So it's tool. It's just AI video enhancement. Basically, you turn it, press the button on. And every video you watch, wherever on YouTube, Netflix, you watch it on your computer with an NVIDIA graphic card. It enhances the quality of video many times over. It is make the video so beautiful that
I can handle a few weeks
my
of
body
this.
cannot display the photos. I have to buy a whole new kit of TV Samsung S90B to drive the AI. So the AI is too strong. The hardware cannot keep up. It makes the movie YouTube video many times more beautiful if you turn it on. It's crazy.
Life's too short for them for me.
It's mind-blowing experience. I spent the whole New Year sitting, hacking the TV, trying to plug it in my LAN network to hack the TV.
Just so you can see better football games.
Any content. So I can hack the need. You know, it's like kudos to Samsung that allow user to hack it. User like me, who like to hack, plug in the LAN network, go into the service menu, change the numbers. The TV is too powerful. That's something they don't want user to get blind by this music. So you actually can hold it, calibrate it yourself, and unlock the full potential of the panel. It is too powerful.
Far away.
Are you on
You got this redheaded wild girl, absolutely
This is why.
stunning. She's shooting guns and she's going,
Yeah,
riding her
after
horse.
this 1 year.
That's Texas. Is that a good analogy?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And where's in Texas? They might not like that in California, but here,
Well,
it'll
but
play the audience.
I worked in entertainment, so I
Okay.
saw the show.
I'm sure that's great.
Yeah, but everything was cool. But
Everything was cool at
I
a
started
distance.
I started to go to learn programming in California at UCLA.
Okay,
So
so
I
it's
got
mostly
like
English.
C++ and in 2000, and I wasn't thrilled with it, you know. But maybe 2
This is the focus.
7 years later.
So these new AI coding program things, assistants, there's two groups that use them the most: entry-level programmers and programmers over 50.
Yeah, that's
Like
Yeah.
Python and all that?
No, like using ChatGPT to write the programs,
Yeah.
because I find as someone who doesn't program much at all, I can use these tools, I know enough to use these tools, and they're really good, but I would struggle with the syntax, because it's been too long.
It's just somehow, it's a counter about, I don't know, focus is understand.
So like, I know what I want to do, I don't know exactly how to do it, and the AI is great, if you can tell it what you want.
And then I know, see, and then I would look at it and say, okay, I do know this is right, and I'll test it. I did this right in January of 2022, they were starting to put stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so this
YouTube,
is,
where they would
retail company,
give you, try it
this
for code.
is a sales consulting
And
company.
Dan the coder, or Dan the programmer, that's what you had to say, because they didn't want to show that. They were
Few different
like,
income sources.
yeah, they
Which
were.
is good, Mark, you gotta have,
And I was like,
plan A,
so cool,
plan
they
B,
were pulling
Yeah,
it
it is.
together.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was around.
So, and it worked, a little.
Early
I
on.
work in
Because I work in
marketing
WordPress
industry,
development.
so
Okay.
couple of years that I
So I knew what was
marketing
going to,
industry,
I know
and
that.
automated by seeing.
But
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's,
right,
you're
right.
like right out
It's not
there, you're
fall behind.
You know.
So the thing
Well,
is,
little
I think
knowledge
nowadays
goes a long way with
it's
AI.
changing so much that it's changed the
Okay,
Yeah.
good seeing you.
and
Good seeing
position.
you.
Take care.
So
Nice
all the
meeting you.
job position
So
is
what do you want to
gradually
do?
drop down into the
Right.
base, and the new job is
Question.
drop
Question.
into the
What is the
base.
question?
Well, do you want to,
That's why people cannot find a job.
Yeah.
And
If
you
their job
want
is
to, you want to be
the ranking is too
same
low.
Texas, where do you,
Nobody
no,
find that.
you say go to Texas
Texas
Tech?
Tech.
That's love, right?
Love
Deal
it.
with stack of
So,
things
but are you,
on top
then
of the
maybe
market,
you
so
should,
like if you.
But I'll probably want to move back to
work
Austin
they
after
are,
college.
it would be easier.
Live in
Well, yeah,
Austin.
this is
Interview over for dinner.
Exactly.
Talk to my
so,
son.
well, I'll,
He's
you know,
not-
I'll
he
put
won't
feelers
do-
out, let people that,
He just won't consider
you know, what about your
AI, he's
Yeah.
that's my friend.
don't they offer intern
Tell me,
programs?
tell me
Yeah,
what
we have like a career fair.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Tell me what the
Yeah,
CES
exactly.
kind of process is.
But I mean,
Okay.
you
What's
want
NVIDIA?
Yeah.
What's that sandbox? What's the explain
Yeah.
why
Fine,
AI is
so
along the
it's
way?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of experience do you want?
Traditional
How do
way
you
of
want to
approaching
use your
software.
Yeah.
Do you want to work in a
It's already
business side, do you
established.
want business?
Right.
The
Yeah.
traditional software
I
cannot
think
control the new
Definitely
hardware.
a big
It's
business
too
would be
powerful.
cool.
Right.
A large company.
Yeah.
Well, I think because, you know, the apple doesn't
For
fall
sure.
far from the
It is
tree
true,
here.
because the
You
AI
know, based
enhances
on
the
knowing,
power
meeting your dad,
of
I
software
think you've got that
many times
similar
over.
Yeah.
hunger
That's
to
exciting. That is
learn
totally.
more
It's
about
just,
everything.
it's a small,
So, I can
small,
see that, but
there's
I'll
an
look at
application
it.
that's called Love Nice
Thank you so much.
It can enhance the frame rate in game and 4 times
And
over
I
using AI.
make sure I got everything covered.
That's
in
the
my-
opportunity also, so we
Well,
still
you
tech
know,
like that.
it's like,
CS.
ever since I was a little
That's
kid.
amazing. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
I wish I could've gone this year, but
Everything
it
was
wasn't on the,
Isn't it weird?
wasn't on the radar.
Because.
Have you ever been?
Some
No,
childish
I was too busy
So
with
I
my
wanted to
new
make
tech
sure I
TV.
had
Yeah, yeah.
I had to package stuff, I had to juice it down.
You save money then,
Yeah, yeah.
even if you spend several
Yeah.
thousand dollars.
Actually, Best Buy, I love the TV
Alright.
from Best Buy, they got a sale of almost 70%.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay. I gotta shut the door.
All right, right, we're on.
Thanks for hosting this.
Oh, I can't sleep here? I can't sleep here?
Wait, I wanna make sure it's clean.
Thanks,
Hold
Martin.
on, wait for, I forgot your first name.
Martin.
Martin, that's it. Martin Dow, right? Dow, is it D-A-O?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, no.
Sometimes I got a really good memory.
Okay. You got 11 minutes. I'm not breaking years.
So, see, I don't pay for parking, and I never get.
It's $4.50 on the street. I always park on the street right there. Never anybody
You're
there.
not supposed to. After 6, it's free.
Oh, well, I paid it.
That's why.
I'm trying to get back.
It's free, it's
I'm
free.
trying to get back to.
No, but that's what I'm saying, it's not free after 6, that's why I never pay. I park right out front too.
Did you really?
Yeah, I have never paid. 'Cause
I
it's
guess
a
I'm
sign.
just
It's a sign.
a good citizen.
Okay, does it look clean enough? Does everything look clean here?
It looks clean.
Well, no, I should put this here. Wait,
It's
hold on.
good.
So Dennis, wait, Martin, oh, where you go? So Dennis, what was I gonna tell you? So if you wanna know about Notebook LM,
Yeah.
I'll send you, I know all
I
about it.
do. I'm
I
gonna
know
check it
all
out
about
tonight.
it, it's this whole Google thing now.
The virtual influencers, it will become new normal because Mark Zuckerberg
That's
last
why I was
month.
telling you about that Gen
Yeah.
X.
Yeah, it also, Mark Zuckerberg himself, last month he already said in California, Facebook gonna deploy a virtual account user feature. It's now a feature.